Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to what appears to be the climax and possible conclusion. Hellblade 2, let's see how this goes.
Darkness came to this
Here we go. We're going to learn about the giant.
The fire spilled from the mountain, and the ash blotted out the sun.
So when the volcano erupted. Yes.
It wasn't the end.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to walk faster, but they won't let me. Can't walk any faster.
People starved and suffered. Homes were destroyed, and leaders fell.
You know, instead of hidden folk, why don't they just call them, like, the plot device or the real narrator? Whatever happened? There is a narrator. What happened to them? The narrator disappeared from the game, I just realized. The narrator pops in, like, once every 4 hours or something.
And each one fought for their own. But in this sea of chaos, one rock stood firm.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I know what to do. Follow me, and I will save you.
Uh-huh.
He meant it. Wanted to keep them safe. His people.
Let me guess, it's Thorgester's dad, right? It actually is him. He's probably the giant.
Then he saw that fear made the people turn to him.
Exactly.
They trusted him, obeyed him, raised him above the others. Their fear made him strong. And as the land healed and the people healed, their fear ebbed. And he saw them start to turn away, to think for themselves, to choose their own path.
And he didn't like that.
And he felt his own strength ebb in turn.
Yep.
And he wanted to hold on to that strength, to hold his place in their hearts, their wills.
There is no Titan. He's the Titan. The king is the Titan. Just like I said, in the previous parts, they're not real. Those Titans were not real. I believe the first Titan or giant was something about Senua remembering that at one point she was pregnant and lost a kid. And then I think the second one is another story, someone else. And so the third one is definitely the current leader of the people. I don't think that the giants are actually real. They're all representative of things going on emotionally.
The giants brought them forth from the shaking earth, the roaring sea, the blinding snow. Brought them into being. And the people who trusted him.
They're not real.
And obeyed him. They saw them too. And saw they had more to fear.
The people are gullible and just believe him, but it's not real. That's what they're getting at. It's all bullshit. So believing their leader's line of bullshit, they went to other lands and kidnapped and pillaged and killed people because their leader told them to do it. Oh, you need to do this so we'll hold off the giants. And they just fucked up other people's lives too, listening to this asshole. Pretty fucked up.
Make them fear. And you can make them do anything.
Yep.
Make them hate. Make them punish the weak. Make them turn against one another, each on each.
Here we are. We're arriving.
I have your tribute. My boy, why did you have to turn your back on me?
Wow. Kills his own son. Literally for no reason, just because he doesn't, you know, support his dad anymore.
Hold him, Senua. He chose you, Senua. Hold him. So brave.
I am going to kill him.
We will kill him.
There's always someone ready to take his place. You told me that yourself. Might have been me, if I had never met you. You have to show them a different way. You have to redeem them.
How do I stop this?
You came to stop the sacrifices. Kill the giant.
Tyrant.
My father's name
One name.
is only fear.
You will end this. End this, Senua.
That's a big sword.
Killed my son. Starting to see my power now. People doing my will.
Harry. How's he surviving that? What the fuck? Oh! Take this, bitch!
I am the only one who can control the giant's life.
A triple stab, he didn't do that yet. Tried to block it. Oh my god, I tried to block it. Can't parry it. I'm trying. Now she's dead. I couldn't parry it. I only got one parry. What? That counted as a hit? Why did that count as a hit?
Why did you come here?
Set them free!
They don't need freedom. They have safety.
I can't parry. I'm trying.
This is the end for you. This is the end for you. You can see through him. You can't defeat me. I have the strength of scars.
This again?
They won't hear you.
Tried to dodge. He finally got a parry.
Keep them trapped with fear. I know you.
There we go again.
You can see the truth.
We have him.
I will shine a light on your lies, and they will see the truth. There are no giants, it's just you.
Keep taking slaves to kill. Your lives are worthless.
Oh, look.
Something is changing.
Yep.
It is changing. Can you feel it? All he has created. All of it. All the shadows. Darkness.
Murderer.
Breaking into pieces. You can see it.
Hear it?
His people are turning against
Look at this.
Turning against him now. Lost.
Scared. They look to you. Look at you. You can show them the truth, Senua. Show them
Jesus, butchering him. Look.
he really is the world that he created. You know what to do.
This is ridiculous. How many fucking times do I have to hit him? That should be it.
Do you really want the truth? Each person who follows you, you bear their weight on your back. Soon you will do anything to protect them, no matter what pain you inflict on others. And then you will find their belief makes you strong. And you will want to hold on to that strength no matter what. You will become me. You are your father's daughter.
He brought your people here to murder them. No peace in meeting death with death.
Do you see how they cling to you? Pleading. Do you see how their hands drag you down? You are everything. What would you do to keep them from harm? What would you do for the truth?
She has to say what she has to say.
The voices. They're gone.
I choose how to end this.
She's not.
Now their voices are back.
All the questions answered.
Now the narrator's back. Wow.
Burning bright to scour away the darkness. Shadows of horror and hate writ large on the sky. Phantoms made from fear. Darkness outside makes darkness inside. She sees it. But the darkness is inside her too. Because she loves, even after everything. She loves. And if she loves, what will she do to save that love, to keep that promise? All the lost ones, when they find her, what will she do to protect them? All those names, all those lives. What will she do to hold them? Wisdom has a price. She is her mother's child.
As is everyone.
But she is also her father's.
As is everyone.
I see it now. The darkness is inside me. But not the way I thought.
Yes, feel it. Yes, you can see it, can't you?
It is his darkness. Not hers. And it carves a path for me.
Blood in your bones.
But I can't see where it leads.
Haunting you forever.
Part of me wants to let go of the fear. Let go of my shadows. And be free. No more pain. No more doubt. Honored. Loved.
It took the whole game for her to look like this. This is what was in all the promo shit.
Always true. Always right. Because they tell me so. Keeping them safe. Keeping their belief alive. No matter the cost. Is this my fate? Can I choose my way?
What will we become?
We are not our fathers. There is always a choice. You taught me that.
You will choose.
Together.
You decide.
All her life she has been alone. She chose it. A shield to keep her heart from harm. A hymn to still the other voices, the ones outside. Not anymore. The ones she saved, the names she found, they lift her up. Their hands reach out to hers. And now,
And those are the hands on the art on the title screen.
back to them.
Yep.
Her story is not written. There is always a choice.
New narrators have been unlocked. 150 gamer points, end the tyranny. Expose the Goatee's lies and end the tyranny. You've completed the main story. Senua's companions are now unlocked as narrators. Choose multiple narrators in new story or in the pause menu after starting a new game. That's it. When she crashes and is shipwrecked, when she goes to the town that's initially overrun by the Draugr, when she's going and seeking the hidden folk, when she goes underground and does all the hidden folk challenges, right? When they go to the seafaring town and then the finale at the capital. That's the whole game. Quick and easy 25 achievement points if you started a game with a new narrator. Is that true? The original, the others, or locked. Gain a new perspective on the story from the others, so the other characters will tell a different perspective. Like I like Lorgenster? Lorstinger? Lorgenstergender? If you get all of those lore totems, you get another run, right? So what happens if we do this? Let's just see how it starts. If it starts differently, here you go. Seeing things differently, 25 gamer points. Launch any chapter with an alternative narrator. Let's see. Let's listen to the narration now.
I have to tell you a story.
Huh.
I don't come out of this well.
Duh.
But I want you to know the truth, so you can see it all. See a different side. Because it's not just Senua who hears things. Sees what isn't there. We often traded and lived among the people of those isles. But my father said we needed slaves. And we, unthinking and unquestioning, obeyed. We knew the reason. Knew there was no other way. His way was the only way. So we obeyed.
The same exact cutscene though, just with different narration.
For them. They'd never be our slaves. They were grist for the mill to save our home, to protect us. But plans can drift off course.
No way to skip stuff, right? No, you can't skip cutscenes in this game. You have to watch them in their entirety. I'm just curious if he's narrating, will you still hear the voices? That's what I want to see. Will you still hear the voices?
Alone in the dark.
Arrow Squirrel, thanks for the super chat. This studio was not shut down. He says, what the fuck was that? No wonder the studio was shut down. Shame for this IP. This studio was not shut down. What are you talking about? You can skip? Skip cinematic? Okay. So, let's listen. Does he talk now? And does she still... Oh! No, she still hears the voices. So the only difference, she's still going to hear all the voices and everything. The difference is that he'll be the narrator that comes in and says a few lines here and there. You remember how I criticized why was there even a narrator in the game, right? Yeah, so there's no real difference. All right, well, yeah, that's lame then. So basically, there is a third run that you can do if you got all the totems, right? But I missed 6 of them. So if you know where they all are, I wonder what you get, right? Like, what's the reward for getting all the totems? And what's also weird is there's no reward for getting all the trees, the hidden trees. There doesn't appear to be, right? So basically, the way I see it is, what'll happen is if you do the second run, he'll tell you what's going on for real in the countryside. Probably when you run into the other guy, right? He'll probably tell you about his people. Like, each person probably narrates that portion of the game where you go to their homeland and they tell you about what's really going on there. But I mean, ultimately the game's over. It's going to be the same game, the same gameplay and all of that. The only difference is the narrator telling you more backstory, right? So basically it's a way for them to artificially extend the length of the game by basically saying, oh, play it more than once to get the full story. But in reality, you know the full story. The full story is there are no giants. The entire people in this northern Norse area are all misled by the leader. The leader had them do horrible things in other lands, and now Senua is traveling there to get revenge, but ends up finding the leader and actually taking revenge. If you really think about it, she's like, oh, well, the reason they're doing this is because of the giants. Well, there are none, so she ends up taking revenge, which is what she was there for to begin with, right? So the question is, what was real, what wasn't? Well, I would argue that probably the Draugr are real, right? Obviously, all of the stuff in the towns with real people are real, but I would say there is no hidden folk, right? They don't exist. They're fake. The giants are fake. It's all people believing this, like, superstitious stuff because they're told to by the leaders. And she's part of the story because she also sees, oh, she's a seer or whatever, right? But by the end, even she realizes it was all fake, right? That everything was fake. There were no giants. It was all fake. She knows that too. So that means all those boss fights and everything were all in her mind. All of it. None of it was real. And all the people only believed it because they believed their leader. And then they believed her saying she was a seer and could see things and hear things. But it was all bullshit. So much like the first game, anything that looks mystical or mythic wasn't real. It was all imagined by not only her, but also the other people as well. Wow. Well, it's over. Right? Thank you, Game Master, for a super chat. He says, worth the $50. Well, allow me to give you my thoughts. And I guess what we should do is get out of this, because I don't think that the music's going to stop, okay? So basically, here's my thoughts, okay? If you're looking for a narrative experience, if you're looking for something that is pretty much either just on rails or you don't mind going a little bit off the beaten path just to find a few collectibles or whatever, it's perfectly fine. Like I was saying last time, I don't really see a problem with the game. Let's say you got a weekend. You got nothing to do in the weekend. You want to play a game. It's fine. But in reality, you know, is it really a game that added much? No. I would argue that I think Hellblade 1 is actually better. I actually feel like Hellblade 1 overall was a better game when you were constantly kind of exploring and wondering what's real and what's not. In this game, you kind of already know she's kind of crazy. So you kind of assume that a lot of stuff isn't real. And by the end, when you get your answers, like, you actually got answers. Like, I would assume that was a real answer, a real explanation by the end of the game. But it really is an on-rails experience with not a lot going on. The combat is incredibly simplistic. The puzzles aren't that crazy complex. The best thing it's got going for it is the graphics. As you see, the graphics look nice. But ultimately, it kind of falls a little flat. I actually think I liked Hellblade 1 more than 2. And I'm not saying I didn't like 2. I'm just saying, like, if I compare the two in my head, I think 1 was a little bit more interesting. That this one, I would say the voices in this one are a little bit more annoying. I would actually say the ending was boring. That last hour, like that segment where they're in the river and they're lost or whatever, is a complete padding segment of like 25 minutes. You don't even need to be there. There's no point to that segment at all. It's just they wanted to extend the length of the game a little bit. It's also weird that the collectibles end in chapter 5. Like, when you're in that river area, shouldn't there be, like, collectibles and things to find? Like, you know, and there's not. It's like they ran out of time or they didn't, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, we'll put nothing in the final chapter, right? So, man, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I don't hate it. But at the same time, I would have a hard time paying money for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a Game Pass game, that's good. For, like, a weekend, there's no problem with that. But for your asking price, like, what was it, $50? To ask someone to pay $50 for a 7.5 hour game, right? And I will say this, because I was saying this, you know, last week too, after my first day playing it. What on earth has Ninja Theory been doing for 7 years? Does that look like or feel like or even play like a game that took 7 years to develop? I know I supposedly Ninja Theory is making another game, which is all well and good, but why did it take 7 years for this? I'm really lost. Like, what was the wait for exactly? I'm really I don't get it. It basically plays like the first game. It doesn't really add anything. The visuals are nice, but yeah, like it doesn't feel at all to me like a game that really would have taken that much, especially because the groundwork was already laid out with the first game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really have no answers. Maybe someone else has a legit answer, and you could leave a comment on the video or whatever, but I really don't know what they were doing. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's passable for a weekend adventure or whatever, but I wouldn't spend money on it, nor would I wait 7 years for it, right? And by the way, remember, Microsoft for a while were really hyping this up. Oh, the big new one, the new Xbox exclusive, and it's like, that wasn't much, man. It wasn't. You know, it wasn't that much at all. So, I don't know. Again, I don't hate it at all. I'm not disliking it. It was functional. It had some interesting parts of finding secrets and stuff. But honestly, would it have mattered if I haven't played that game? Like, if I had missed Hellblade 2, would I have missed anything? No. That's just a time killer game to play for a weekend. That's it. You know, wow. And I'm not saying that there's not places for games like that, but okay, here's the deal. Now I can really explain why I'm feeling this way. Hellblade 1, when it came out, no one expected anything from it, correct? When Hellblade 1 was coming out, where you were like, ooh, Hellblade 1, I can't wait. No. Hellblade 1 was a sleeper hit, a game that no one was expecting anything from, and when it came out and you played it for the 8, or actually I think it was only like 5 or 6 hours long, right? When you played it, you were like, oh, the graphics are shockingly good. The story is kind of interesting and riveting. It came out of nowhere. Now I wonder if they make a sequel, if it'll be like a full-fledged game, right? This game ended up getting hype. I mean, we learned about its development all along. It was at, you know, game events, press conferences, Game Fest, stuff like that. So you see it get built up in its development, and it was like, oh, now we're anticipating this. We weren't anticipating Hellblade 1. So when it came out, it was like, oh, a pleasant surprise, right? Hellblade 2, you're expecting more than that pleasant surprise. You're expecting, oh, more from this now. They literally did not deliver anything more. They just gave you the same thing twice. And it's like, oh, well, the first time I had this amazing meal that I didn't expect to be good, it's delicious. But if you hand me exactly the same meal a second time, I'll like it, but it's not going to be nearly as much as that first impression because it's the same thing. You see what I'm saying? You expect with a sequel, there's going to be something bigger or better, and I don't feel like they did that at all. It feels like it's the first one again. Only I think the first one was better because it was a shocker, a surprisingly good thing. This was not surprisingly good. You see? Let's see here. I received a $5 tip. I thought the story was good, but they dropped the ball making the game a walking simulator. Well, again, you have to understand that's the first game too. And if you played the first game and you came into the sequel expecting something different than that, you know, I wasn't. But at the same time, I was like, okay, if it's going to be a walking simulator, you know, you think they're going to do something a little different as well. Maybe there'll be a new element, a new kind of puzzle. Something cool, a cool twist in the story. Like there really wasn't. It was pretty much just dead on par with the first game. And I think that's the problem. The pleasant surprise makes it feel better. But then when you play it and it's like, wow, it's really just the same game again. And another thing too, when Hellblade 1 came out 7 years ago, those were like best-in-class graphics on the Xbox One. Like, I don't remember another game that looked that good on the Xbox One. This game looks kind of in line with other games. Like, I've seen other games that look this good on modern consoles. So, it's not like, oh, the graphics are the thing now. You know, I would be like, I don't even know what the thing is. That they tried to be artistic? I mean, yeah, they tried. It didn't necessarily work that well, you know? So, yeah, it actually is kind of disappointing in my opinion. I was expecting more, and I didn't get it. 7 years of build-up and wait, and you didn't really get what you were expecting for that level of wait, right? It never materialized. So, yeah, I would say, again, kind of similar to what I said last week after that first session. It's not that I don't like the game. The game isn't broken or anything. But I wouldn't recommend this to anyone except, like, as a Game Pass weekend game, or, you know, if it goes real cheap later. I would never pay $50 for this game. That's wild to expect $50 for this game. Like, that's crazy talk. $50? No way. It's not even 8 hours. You know, that's just crazy to expect that level of investment. It's like, you want me to play it twice? Why? So there's a different narrator? I don't know. Anyway, that's it for Hellblade 2. What did you think? People in chat have already spoken up. What about you guys watching on demand? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'm very curious to hear what everyone thinks about this one. I think a lot of people were actually going into this year thinking it might be like a Game of the Year contender. Whoa, absolutely not for me anyway. There's no way. That was just really overhyped for me. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching my playthrough of Hellblade 2. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.